presented by the Strong Blue Line Foundation and powered by Moose Ridge Coffee in Snake River Landing, Idaho Falls. Welcome to the podcast, where former San Antonio police officer, author, and pastor Tim Rupp walks you through real-life scenarios involving our police officers and digs into the depths of facts and opinions on each case. This is Cop Talk, and it starts now.
Well, hello and welcome to the Strong Blue Line's Cop Talk. I'm Tim Rupp in the Rev.FM studio in Idaho Falls, and here with me is station manager Gary, 50-year-old Austin. Hello, Gary.
Hello, Tim Rupp.
Hey, you turned 50, the big five, a half a century.
Oh, it's crazy.
How does it make you feel?
No, it's about the same. I mean,
it's about the same. When I remember significant. When I turned 30, I didn't think anything of it. Turned 40, didn't think much of it. Turned 50, wasn't much. When I hit 60, it's like, it was like, okay.
That was what it was for you.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that might be what it is for me, too.
It may be. You look at some of these stars. I mean, Tom Brady, when did he stop playing? He's in his 40s.
He was in, mid-40s, late 40s.
Nolan Ryan was, I think, 45 when he stopped playing. Professional pitcher.
That's true.
And just, these guys are in good shape. Anyways,
they are.
Congratulations on your 50th.
Well, thanks.
We record this weekly, but as people know, they're recorded in advance, and sometimes you're gone and I'm gone, and so sometimes we're away for a while. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, it is.
Back in
it's
studio.
Nice to have you back, Tim.
Yeah. So I was gone in Texas for a while, and you were gone to Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I heard you went to Dolly World.
Yeah, Dollywood. It was really
Dollywood.
good.
Dollywood. That's right.
Yeah.
Like Hollywood, Dollywood. Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun.
Anyways,
great.
That's cool.
So and things were good in Texas.
They were.
Good.
We did a couple of events. One of the highlight was doing another seminar for the Strong Blue Line Foundation. I did it in Selma, Texas.
Oh.
In Selma, Texas. Selma is a little tiny. It was a little tiny town on the outskirts of San Antonio, outside of San Antonio. When I was going to high school there, it was like. They had like one police officer, and I think he worked part-time.
Oh, wow.
And it was just a little bitty tiny town. And now the chief of police of Selma, he used to be my sergeant when I worked homicide. And he retired from the police department after I did. But he's the chief there. And I got a hold of him. I said, hey, Daryl, I said, how many officers do you have in Selma? He says, I got 40. I said, oh, my God, 40 officers. And I go, and we drive into Selma, and it's all completely commercialized. I mean, it's like driving down 17th Street.
Oh, my goodness.
Just, that's the whole, and this is off a major highway, IH-35, that runs from Austin to San Antonio. Mm-hmm. And I pull in there, just before I got to the police department, I see, and it said, Mercedes-Benz of Selma, Texas. I'm like, oh my goodness, they've got their own Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Wow.
I mean, it was, but the point is we did a seminar, about 25, 30 officers in there. It was a really good seminar. The officers were very, very kind and everything. It was a lot of fun.
That is really awesome.
So it was good to come back. Sherry and I, while we were gone, we celebrated our 38th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
So, well, thank you. And we celebrated that. We were on our way down. We stopped by Chama, New Mexico, and they have a train there that runs from, you can either go from Chama to, I can't think of the name, in Colorado. Antonia, Colorado, or you can ride the bus to Antonia and then ride the train back. And so we stayed in Chama, rode the bus over. The bus drive was like an hour, and then the train ride was 6 hours back.
Oh my goodness!
But it was. We had a blast.
That's cool.
We really enjoyed the train, and so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just chugging along through the mountains, beautiful. We missed the colors by about a month or so, but it was a lot of fun. We just
that is very, very cool. Wow, 38 years. Congratulations.
Want to do that again sometime. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the way I found out about it, another friend of mine, who's a retired police officer from San Antonio, he kind of works as a volunteer on the train.
Oh,
So
okay.
So it was kind of. So I found out that. Anyways,
That is awesome.
we had a blast.
I'm happy you did that.
But it's good to be back. Hey, it's good to be back here on Cop Talk, and we got some things. We're gonna talk about government overreach today.
Okay.
With kind of a funny story. So actually, it's a very funny story.
It is. Yeah, it'll be good.
Anyway, but before we do that, we're going to honor the officers who were killed in the line of duty on this day, November 13th. November 13th. So I have night watchman John O'Meara, Baltimore City Police Department, Maryland. End of watch, November 13th, 1856. Quite a while ago, 1856.
Yeah.
Interesting story, Gary. Night watchman John O'Meara succumbed to a gunshot wound he sustained 11 days earlier when he accidentally shot himself in the arm while attempting to quell a riot on Election Day. Now, we just had election. Last week was election, And as far as I know they put up stuff in D.C. and different places.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, everything was okay.
Yeah, I think
there
everything
were no
was,
problems, So, but the wound became infected. So infected that a portion of his arm had to be amputated. Despite the amputation, Watchman O'Meara developed lockjaw and passed away several days later. He was only 23 years old, survived by his wife and a child.
Wow.
So, terrible, but that's accidentally shot himself. And back then, pistols were not as safe as they are nowadays, and things. We've read about this.
Difference.
But accidents still happen today, and officers get killed in training accidents and so forth.
So who was that a presidential election?
1856 would have been a presidential election.
Oh, okay.
And it would have been the one before Abraham Lincoln.
Right.
So,
he was 1860.
And so I think that the president, as we talked about it, Zachary Taylor, I think was the president.
Very cool.
Would have been elected during that time, but that was just before the Civil War. 5 years before the Civil War. 5 years before. Started in 1861, but the president during the Civil War would have been Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord it was not Zachary Taylor.
Zachary Taylor.
Abraham Lincoln was there at the right place.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Well, you're just smart. That's Tim.
I've got a smartphone.
Salted peanuts. This is Correctional Officer the third, Jovian Motley. End of watch, November 13th. So he died while helping restrain a combative inmate at the correctional facility there. Cause of death is under investigation, it says.
So they don't know the cause of death.
So they don't know. Huh. He had served with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Correctional Institutions Division for over 1 year and survived by his mom and dad. He was 27. His tour, 1 year, 1 month.
Wow.
So, very interesting. Huh.
Yeah, you don't know. And, some people, they have heart problems. You never know about it.
Right.
Sometimes you just never know what it could be.
Yeah.
That's kind of unusual that they don't. And nowadays, usually figure out what the cause of death is.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and still under investigation.
Yeah. Hey, can you believe it, Gary? Thanksgiving is almost here.
I know.
And that means Christmas is around the corner.
I can't believe it.
And you know what? I'm excited about Christmas.
Yeah. You
Carrie's Christmas candy. Yes, Carrie's Christmas. And I understand that you've already been testing that. Come on, Gary. It's not even Thanksgiving yet, and you're testing the Christmas candy. I told you it's like Nehemiah. You're the tester. You got to test it. Make sure it's okay.
Yeah. Looking forward to it though.
Looking forward to.
She's got some new ones too. So.
Oh really?
Good.
Good. I'm looking forward to that. We'll have to have a tasting on it.
We will
on air.
Yeah.
Of Carrie's Christmas candy. Yes, we'll have to do that. Hey, formerly aired shows of Cop Talk can be found on Amazon, YouTube, Apple, and Spotify podcast platforms. And Given Tuesday's coming up, December the 3rd, which is just less than a month away.
That's right.
2 or 3 weeks away now. So Given Tuesday, think about where you want to donate. I know Rev is doing a promotion.
Yeah,
to
doing
get people.
Pledge drive.
So we're doing a pledge drive for the, and we got some exciting things coming up
We do.
There's going to be incentives to
Way
help
cool.
give to the Rev. So if you like what you're hearing, or if you don't like, go ahead and give to the Rev and just tell them you don't like Cop Talk. But support
the
Rev.
Strong Blue Line. There
Yep.
we go. There's
and the Strong Blue Line. If you want to give the Strong Blue Line, that's cool too.
Absolutely.
You can go to the website and strongblueline.org. All right, so we got this is and probably a lot of people's heard about this. It's been on social media everywhere, but this comes. Then this is an editorial page. So, and I've edited it somewhat, but it's an editorial page from Law Enforcement Today. The title of it is "Out of Control Government Pet Squirrel." Out of control government pet squirrel euthanized by New York is much more about is about much more than killing an animal. This comes from Pine City, New York. Now, Gary, I know you're geographically you travel all over the country. So, have you been to Pine City, New York?
I don't think I've been to Pine City, New York.
Do you know where Pine City, New York is located?
No.
Pine City, New York is located in southern central New York.
Huh.
I looked up on a map. I didn't know that off the top of my head.
Okay.
So I looked up on a map, and it's just 5 miles north of Pennsylvania.
Huh.
So it's really in a rural area, because when we think of New York, everybody thinks of New York City.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
We know there's rural areas. We know there's Buffalo, New York. Obviously, Buffalo is not rural, but you don't think of New York as being a rural.
No.
But this is so Pine City, New York. It says here, normally a story about a squirrel getting euthanized would pass by without any notice. However, Peanut, the squirrel, offers a shining example of government overreach and the priorities of the ruling class. Peanut was a 7-year-old squirrel. Now, I did not know squirrels live 7 years.
I didn't either.
I don't know what the average life expectancy of a squirrel is.
I have no idea.
I would have figured maybe 2-3 years.
Yeah,
But
if that. Yeah.
Anyways, a 7-year-old squirrel who lived in an animal rescue after being hit by a car. So that's not unusual.
Okay.
I often see squirrels, what's left of them, that's hit by a car.
Yeah.
He was domesticated and could not be released back into the wild. Peanut gained fame as a social media star, but apparently some busybody decided to dime out Peanut and his caretaker, Mark Longo, to the New York Department of Environmental Conservation. The Department of Environmental Conservation. I can't even talk, Gary. It's been too long. Department of Environmental Conservation, the DEC. Now, notice he said to dime out. You know where that came from? Dime?
I was just wondering.
You ever dropped a dime on somebody? When you used to make a phone call, you used to drop a dime in the payphone to make the phone call.
Okay.
To report the person. So you drop a dime on. Hey, you didn't drop a dime on me. In other words, you called the cops.
Awesome.
That's where that comes from. You used to drop a dime.
I never did.
You know, a lot of
I'm
people,
only 50.
You know, that's you're young. That's why. Thank you, there. Thank you, youngster. So somebody called the Department of Environmental Conservation, the DEC, the New York DEC. It says DEC agents descended on Longo's home with a search warrant looking for the rascally squirrel and his partner in crime, Fred the raccoon. Get this, Gary. Armed with semi-automatic weapons and tactical gear. 10 agents from the DEC spent 5 hours tearing through the home, Longo told the New York Post. Now, Gary, if somebody complained that your dog was on the loose, or your dog was barking, or something was wrong with your dog, how many people do you think would show up at your house?
Probably none.
Or maybe the animal control agent, one person, knock on the door.
Yeah.
There's a problem with your dog.
Yeah.
But we got 10 agents.
With semi-automatic weapons and...
Longo says this, quote, "They treated me like a terrorist. They treated this raid as if I was a drug dealer. They ransacked my house for 5 hours.
Ooh.
They asked my wife, who is of German descent, what her immigration status was. They asked if I had cameras in the house. They wouldn't allow me to go to the bathroom without a police escort, who then checked the back of the toilet to see if I was hiding anything there.
Oh my goodness,
Gary! This is if this is accurately reported, which I don't know why Longo would make this stuff up. Why in the world are 10 agents going there and serving a search warrant like it's a squirrel?
Yeah, it's a squirrel.
And a raccoon. What happened afterward is even more injurious. After seizing the squirrel and his friend, the raccoon, the DEC euthanized them. The Post contacted the DEC, which claimed it was acting on complaints of a rabies vector species in the home. The state claimed they had to kill both animals so they could be tested for rabies after the squirrel allegedly bit one of the agents during the raid. Peanut was an internet star, and millions of people nationwide followed his antics. Some said he apparently had an affinity for waffles. So this is Peanut that liked waffles. My home, another quote from Longo, my home is blowing up from people around the country saying how much they love Peanut. I have people who call me and they cry more than I do. The article continues. The DEC told WETM that the armed raid was in response to complaints about the raccoon. However, Longo believes that they used that as an excuse to remove Peanut. Quote, the only time I ever talked to the DEC prior to this was when they got complaints from anonymous people on the internet for Peanut about 5 or 6 months ago. And that was before Fred the raccoon, Longo said. They used Fred as their go-to to get into my house. So apparently they couldn't come in for a squirrel, but they could come in for a raccoon.
Yeah.
So they used that. Longo also dismissed the claim that one of the agents was bitten, saying he didn't witness anything, and also noted that the agents had worn thick gloves during the raid. Longo said he wanted medical records of the officials who stormed the home to see if they indeed got tested for rabies.
My goodness.
That's smart. Hey, you're telling me you did this. Yeah, prove it. While squirrels can carry rabies, it is extremely rare. In fact, the CDC doesn't consider squirrels to be a common carrier of rabies. So the excuse offered by the New York State DEC doesn't hold water. Think about that. I've never seen a rabid squirrel.
I haven't either. No.
And it seems like if an animal as small as a squirrel would get rabid, they would quickly die. They wouldn't last very long.
I would think so too.
You know, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah.
You may be asking why law enforcement today is investigating this story. The overreach by a government agency, the New York Department of Environmental Conservation, is stunning. Is the overreach by them. Using 10 heavily armed officers to raid a home in search of 2 harmless animals that, while their housing inside violates some obscure state law and they may carry rabies, shows what out of control government looks like. And so let's stop right there, Gary. I think that's true. I mean, if you're not supposed to have certain animals, which is understandable, you know, if you're in the city, you can't house a mountain lion.
Yeah.
You know, because of, obviously, it's a wild animal. It could be dangerous to people, et cetera, et cetera. That's understandable. But even if you had an animal as dangerous as a mountain lion, who would come? How come you need 10 agents to come up?
I agree.
Even a mountain lion, you'd think 3.
Yeah.
You know, a guy with the tranquilizer, you know.
Right. Even
call you up on the phone before you got there. Hey, listen, this is what we're doing. We're out here. Heard you got a mountain lion in there. We're coming to, you know, we're gonna tase them, or we're gonna shoot, you know, tranquilizer into it so we can remove them safely. You can't complain about that,
right?
But why? I just don't understand why all this. Why are animal control officers even armed to begin with
exactly
weapons? I mean,
that was my question.
Tranquilizers, guns, rifles, because they have to. I understand that, you know, I get that, but I don't understand this. And going through and what are they looking for?
Yeah, that's what I don't know.
You knock on the door. You say, we understand you got a squirrel and a raccoon. I don't know if both of them are illegal or whatever. You know, you need to give these up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. If the guy refuses, okay, then we take it to the next level. Hey, we've got a warrant. We're going to come in.
Right.
And so let's just, okay, well, come on in. Here are the animals. There you go. You would ask the person, could you please put them in a cage?
Uh-huh.
Could you do this so we can take them out and remove them?
Right.
Now, long ago, now we don't know what happened. We're only getting one side of the story.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting what happens. But the point of this article, why law enforcement today took it, was what are our government agencies doing?
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that President-elect Trump ran on, was government overreach.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance brought this out a lot. There's a reason for government. In fact, Gary, government is one of the things that God instituted.
Yeah.
God instituted the family, and people understand that. I think most people understand that. They get that. God instituted the family. God instituted the church, but God also instituted government.
Government, he did.
And there's a reason for government, and government is there to ensure the safety of its citizens.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they have laws that say you can't have a mountain lion in a residential area.
Right. Me too.
It's not safe for you. It's not it's not safe for other people.
Yeah.
So there are good laws, but when there's government overreach, when okay, you're not supposed to have squirrels. Okay, my neighbor's got squirrels, not supposed to have it. He's got a raccoon, he has a raccoon, I'm concerned. Okay, let's go there, call him up, go knock on the door, say, sir, I understand you got a squirrel and a raccoon here. You're not supposed to have them. You need to get rid of them.
Yeah, done.
Done. Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. Well, I'm not going to get rid of them. It's my right. Okay, what?
Right,
it's
then,
not.
Yeah.
Go to the next level. If you need guns and you're doing that, then call the police.
Yeah.
Hey, the police are here to help us enforce this.
Right.
And so it's just, it's
so bizarre.
It's bizarre. That's a good word. I was looking for the word. Bizarre is the word to use in that. And it's just crazy. I mean, Elon Musk even said something about this. Penis plight was caught the attention of Elon Musk, who posted on X, government overreach kidnapped an orphan squirrel and executed him. Somebody said, and I didn't read, I may have cut this out, but somebody said that they murdered a squirrel. Now, murder is taking the life of another individual.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not killing an animal. It's not killing an animal. It's not murder. It's
cruelty.
It's cruelty to animals. It could be cruelty to animals. But you would think that the conservation would take care not to have to do that.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, because it's their resources. It's taxpayer resources. And it's the overreach.
It's like,
so if Mr. Longo was right.
This is just crazy stuff. Anyways, it was fun talking about this kind of stuff. And hey, don't forget, Giving Tuesday's coming up. Think about where you would like to give extra. Right after Thanksgiving, we're thankful. Yeah. We have Christmas coming up.
Yes.
Think
Strong
about
Blue Line.
Different things. The Strong Blue Line, the Rev, different things that are good that you enjoy and that are doing a ministry for others. Hey, thanks for listening in. If you have a topic or a question you want addressed on Cop Talk, and as you can see, we talk about just about anything here.
Yes, we do.
Send me an email. You can email suggestions, questions, comments, or complaints to coptalk@therev.fm. That's coptalk@therev.fm. Thought from the good book today. A ruler who lacks understanding is a cruel oppressor. Thank you for joining us and helping to make the thin blue line a strong blue line.
Cop Talk is presented by the Strong Blue Line Foundation and sponsored by Moose Ridge Coffee in Snake River Landing, Idaho Falls. Questions and comments are always welcome by email to coptalk@therev.fm. Listen, follow, leave a review, and share this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or YouTube. And visit thestrongblueline.org to learn how you can be a supporter. Cop Talk is a Rev FM production, produced and edited by Gary Austin. Thank you for joining us on Cop Talk.